Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into someone truly fascinating, a giant of history, John D. Rockefeller. Forget the usual stories, the caricatures. We're going straight to the source. Our mission: to explore his raw, unfiltered thoughts through his personal letters to his son, collected in 38 letters Rockefeller wrote to his son. These aren't dusty old documents. Think of them as a direct line, a masterclass in business, life, and wow, incredible self-belief from the man who built Standard Oil.
Yeah, and what's so compelling is that these were private. He wasn't writing a manifesto for the public. This is the world's richest man talking frankly to his adult son, John Jr., over, 30 years? It gives us this really unique window into his actual motivations, that relentless drive he had, and the specific mindset he thought was essential, not just for building something, but for his son to avoid, the trap of just inheriting wealth. It's a rare chance to get past the what he did and understand the why.
Okay, let's get into that mind then. Because yeah, you hear Rockefeller, you instantly think robber baron maybe. But these letters, they paint a picture of someone who saw business as, well, constant warfare, a battlefield. He actually admired rivals, like a Mr. Benson, called him a brilliant predator, a warrior. But here's the kicker, and this is a direct quote. He says, "I do not meet competition, I destroy competitors." I mean, that's pretty blunt. He wasn't playing nice.
Not even close. And destroy competitors, that's not just, trash talk. It was strategy, deep strategy. It connects directly to how he operated. It wasn't just about being aggressive. It was like military precision in commerce. Remember that multi-pronged attack on Mr. Benson he wrote about?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Okay, so first, Rockefeller buys this long, thin strip of land right on the Pennsylvania border.
Yeah.
Why? To block Benson from building a pipeline. Pure obstruction. Then Benson finds a way around it, so Rockefeller uses his allies in the railroads, gets them to refuse permission for any pipeline to cross their tracks. And then, just to make sure, he goes to the companies that make storage tanks and places these enormous orders. Basically buys up all their production capacity. So Benson can't even get the tanks he needs. Starved him of resources. Rockefeller tells his son, point blank, every crucial competition is a battle that determines fate.
A battle that determines fate. Just intense. So the big question then, looking back at that era, that kind of, cutthroat industrial age, was that level of aggression just what you had to do to survive and win? Or was this something deeper, unique to Rockefeller himself? I mean, he compared himself to Napoleon, Alexander the Great, conquerors.
Right. And that comparison is so revealing, isn't it? It suggests it wasn't just about market necessity for him. Sure, the era was tough, no doubt. But his mindset seems almost inherently combative. He saw himself as a general in the field of commerce. It wasn't just about winning a contract. It was about total dominance, systematically removing obstacles. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does competition really mean? Was he just reacting, or was he the one setting the terms of war?
Definitely seems like he was setting the terms, orchestrating things with this vision of absolute control. He talks about the plan for the Cleveland massacre. That sounds dramatic. But it was his term for consolidating the refineries there. His goal: to, quote, tame this industry and have everyone act rationally, which for him meant under his control.
Rationally meant his way.
Exactly. And he saw opportunities in every disaster. He'd snap up struggling refineries when they were weakest. Pure opportunism, but strategic. And his core strategy: always go after the biggest fish first, like Clark Payne. He figured if the leader falls,
the others follow. Like dominoes, he said.
Yeah, and he was clear this wasn't luck. He called it planning luck, designing his own success. Every crisis was just raw material for his next move.
But all that external maneuvering, that almost warlike approach, it needed fuel. And that fuel was this incredibly powerful internal engine, just sheer self-belief. He really hammers this home to his son. Our destiny is determined by our actions and not by our origins. And he tells this story about himself as a kid, maybe 8 or 9 years old. Poor family, tattered clothes. Someone asked him to step out of a group photo because he looked so shabby. And even then, as a little kid, he apparently thought to himself, I will be the richest man in the world.
That's incredible. Just that certainty.
It wasn't just a dream, it was like a foundational belief. And he directly credits his success, his enviable oil kingdom, as he called it, to unremitting efforts driven by that belief.
That conviction is amazing. But you also wonder, does that kind of absolute self-belief tip over into something else? Arrogance, maybe, especially with these methods. He tells his son, I never believe that failure is the mother of success. I believe that faith is the father of success.
So, okay, powerful quote, but what's the takeaway for, us?
Well, it's fundamentally a call to do something, to act. He says opportunity comes from opportunity. You have to create the next chance by seizing the current one, and action solves everything.
Action solves everything. I like that. He explicitly warns against getting stuck in endless planning, continuous deliberation and planning without actually doing anything. He had this great line: sentences such as tomorrow, next week, and future have the same meaning as can never be done.
Ouch. That hits home a bit.
Doesn't it? And it reminds me, of that Charlie Munger idea about the fundamental algorithm of life. Repeat what works. Rockefeller was all about that. Find something that works, do it, learn, repeat. Don't just sit there theorizing forever.
So it's about having that bias for action. Just get started.
Exactly. Understanding that life is an opportunity at a time. Almost nothing is perfect. You can't wait for the perfect plan or the perfect moment. And he lived this, not just in big strategy, but in his whole attitude towards work itself. He actually said he found infinite happiness from work, claimed he celebrated the anniversary of his first job more than his actual birthday, kept that up his whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. And he uses that parable, the 3 stonemasons, all doing the exact same tough job. 2 just see it as labor, breaking rocks. But the third one, he says, I'm making a work of art. Rockefeller's motto is basically, if you view work as a pleasure, life is heaven. If you view work as a duty, life is hell.
That's a powerful reframe.
And he thought you could apply that as a leader, too. Match people to jobs where they actually feel that enthusiasm. He called it a very effective leadership style, tapping into that internal drive.
And that enthusiasm, he saw it as a force multiplier. Like your success is directly linked to how enthusiastic you are about it.
Yeah.
You got to approach things with what did he call it? A dangerous optimist mindset?
Yeah, dangerous optimist. I love that phrase.
There's that story he tells, maybe it was borrowed, but he used it, about the farmer whose land is flooding. Total disaster.
Right.
But the farmer keeps finding silver linings. Well, the ducks will like the water. Good. The rain's washing the dirty windows. Great. Now the kids can learn to swim. It's extreme, maybe, but it's a lesson in resilience. How you frame the problem is the problem, or the solution. Your internal story shapes everything.
It really does. But here's where things get, complicated. Because that internal focus on optimism, enthusiasm, cooperation within his company, it stands in really stark contrast to how he viewed the world outside Standard Oil. His perspective gets quite a bit darker there.
Darker how?
Well, his view of the market, of human nature in general, outside his own circle, pretty cynical. He says things like, interests seem to be invincible. We are slaves of interests. Basically, everyone's just out for themselves. And even more bluntly, in this world, there is no one who does not pursue profit.
Oof, that's bleak.
It is, and he apparently felt justified based on his own experiences. Betrayals, even by people he trusted, church members sometimes. He actually tells his son, in this game, everyone is your enemy, including yourself. And because of that, guarding ourselves is an indispensable survival skill. A deep distrust there.
Wow. Okay, so that is a huge contrast. Ruthless and cynical externally, but fostering loyalty and cooperation internally. How did he even square that? Because inside Standard Oil, he seemed to preach a totally different gospel. He believed, when we replaces me, the power it gives off will be incalculable. That's about teamwork. And he wrote about respect. Respect is an effective tool to motivate employees to work hard.
It sounds almost like, that idea of everyone wanting to feel valued.
Exactly. Like Mary Kay's thing about the invisible sign saying, value me. Rockefeller seemed to get that, internally at least. He told leaders to listen more than they talked, to really understand their people, make them feel heard, create that environment of trust.
So how does that work? Cynical destroyer outside, nurturing leader inside. It's the big question, isn't it? That tension. For Rockefeller, maybe the answer lay in seeing certain principles as, strategically useful as well as right. Take honesty. He said, I always insist on telling the truth. The rewards of being honest are enormous. But then you see how he used it. Apparently, he'd be incredibly transparent with bankers, lay everything bare, even weaknesses.
Okay.
Why? Because he knew that level of honesty, ironically, built immense trust. So when he needed big loans, they backed him completely. He understood reputation was critical. Honesty wasn't just a virtue, it was a powerful tool for long-term advantage. Maybe he compartmentalized.
Compartmentalized seems like an understatement. Okay, so what about passing this all on? His son, John Jr., born into this immense wealth Rockefeller never had, how did he try to prepare him for this complicated world and legacy?
That's another fascinating part. He was very deliberate about it. He said he actually concealed the fact that I was well off when the kids were young, made them do chores, earn pocket money, understand the value of $1. He wanted to instill frugality and personal struggle.
trying to avoid the curse of inherited wealth.
Precisely. He knew all about that shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Idea how families can build fortunes and then lose them because the drive diminishes. He desperately wanted John Jr. to avoid that. He told him, "A truly happy person is one who is able to enjoy his creation." The emphasis is on creation, on building, not just consuming or inheriting. He wanted his son to feel that same satisfaction he felt from the struggle, from the work itself.
Got it. Not just enjoying the fruits, but understanding the effort, the creation.
Exactly. The cost, the process, that's where the real value lay for him.
Man, what a journey into his thinking. It's a lot. From destroy competitors to finding infinite happiness in work. From that deep cynicism about the world to cultivating intense internal loyalty. These letters show so many facets, often contradictory ones. He really lived that idea that second place is no different from last place. Just relentless.
Absolutely relentless. And I think, if you had to pull out one core thread from all this for you listening, it's Rockefeller's unwavering belief in the power of your own will, your mindset. He said, too many people overestimate what they lack, but underestimate what they have. Don't focus on limitations, focus on what you can do. His whole life screams, plan boldly and implement carefully. Make your own opportunities. Looking back at everything we've covered, what's the one thing about his philosophy that really jumps out at you?
For me, ultimately, it's that profound belief that a great life is the process of conquering excellence. It wasn't passive. It was about actively seeking challenges, battling for success, forging your own path with this absolute conviction that you will win. So maybe the question for you to think about today is this. What's one battle that determines fate, big or small, that you're facing right now? And taking a page from Rockefeller, what's one concrete action you can take, like today, to start planning your luck and set yourself up for victory?